जहाँ प्रसादे ए भाव तोरिया जय। कृष्णा प्राप्ति हो जहाँ होते कृष्णा प्राप्ति हो जहाँ होते गुरु मुखा पद्मावख्या चित्ते ते कोरिया क्या। गुरु मुखा पद्मावख्या चित्ते ते कोरिया क्या। आर ना कोरी हो माने आशा। आर ना कोरी हो माने आशा। श्री गुरु चरण रते ऐसे उत्तमा गति। श्री गुरु चरण रते ऐसे उत्तमा गति। जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्वा आशा। जय प्रसाद पूरे सर्वा आशा। चक्कु दान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से। चक्कु दान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से। दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो। दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो। प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते। प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते। वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो। वेद गाय जहाँ रचरितो। श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधमा जनारा बंधु। गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधमा जनारा बंधु। लोकेनाथ लोके रजीवाना। लोकेनाथ लोके रजीवाना। हाँ प्रभु कोरो दोया देहो मोरे पद छाया। প্রভু করো দয়া, দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া। প্রভু করো দয়া, দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া। প্রভু করো দয়া, দেহ মোরে পদ ছায়া। এবে যাস কুসুক ত্রিভুবানা, এবে যাস কুসুক ত্রিভুবানা। শিলা প্রভুপাদ পতিত পাবনা, জয় প্রভুপদা, জয় প্রভুপদা, প্রভুপদা জয় প্রভুপদা। প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ প্রভুপাদ, জয় জয় প্রভুপাদ। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदान्ता स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पश्चातादशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्तवृंद। Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jayo Nitai Gaura Sundar, Nitai Gaura Sundar, Gaura Sundar. Jayo Nitai Gaura Sundar, Nitai Gaura Sundar, Gaura Sundar. Jayo Nitai Gaura Sundar, Nitai Gaura Sundar, Gaura Sundar. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Astotra Swachishimad, His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON's founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. PBT founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Food for Life founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Astotra Swachishimad, His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Sundar Ki Jai. Shri Guru Parampara Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Nilachal Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Jai Go Premanande. All glories to the Semal devotees. All glories to the Semal devotees. All glories to the Semal devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
हरे कृष्ण। नृसिंहदेव भगवान की, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की। नमस्ते नरसिंहाया, नमस्ते नरसिंहाया, प्रहलाद लाद दायने, प्रहलाद लाद दायने, हिरण्याकाशी पूर्वक्षः, हिरण्याकाशे पूर्वक्षः, हिरण्या श्रीलातनका नकालाये, इतो निश्चिंगो परतो निश्चिंगो, यतो यतो यमिततो निश्चिंगो, यतो बाहिर्निश्चिंगो हृदय निश्चिंगो, नृसिंहं मधिं शरणं प्रपदे, न तव करे कमलावरे नाकाम अद्भुत श्रृंगाम, दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृंगाम, कैसा बदिता नाराहरि रूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, वो तव कर जगदीश हरे, तव कर कमलावरे नाकाम अद्भुत श्रृंगाम, दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृंगाम, कैसा बद्रिता नाराहरि रूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, तव कर कम परे नाकाम अद्भुत श्रृंगाम, दलिता हिरण्यकशिपो तानुभृंगा, कैसा बदिता Jaya Nrsingadev, 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 Jaya Nrsingadev, Jaya Nrsingadev, 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 Jaya Nrsingadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की, चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय, गौ प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotee. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare. Once again, hey, my name is Radha Charanti. A wonderful, warm welcome to New Jagannath Puri Temple. I say it's a warm welcome. So, today I'd like to give gratitude and appreciation to the Pujari team that has assisted, dressed their beautiful lordships, Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra were dressed today by Her Grace Priyadashini Mataji. Nitai Gaurasundar was dressed by Pandu Prabhu, and Guru Parampara and Prabhupada was dressed by His Grace Ram Gopal Prabhu. So thank you, dear devotees, for their services. And we thank all the Vaishnavas that assist and make sure that New Jagannath Puri Temple is running smoothly, from our management to our temple devotees that assist with the cooking, the cleaning of the vegetables, the devotees with today's prasad. All, please, if you could, a round of applause. We thank you today for joining us. Anyone here who's for the first time to New Jagannath Puri Temple? Ah, wonderful. So we all are family and we all are together here today. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you your speaker, who is Vraj Kishore Prabhu. But before I go there, I would like to also mention something to set the scene for today's subject matter, which is on book distribution. And this is a letter from Srila Prabhupada to Usuma Sloka Prabhu in 1975. He sent this to him in December. And it goes as such. The Sankirtan is very dear to Krishna because they are doing the field work of book distribution. Krishna has immediately recognized them as true servants. Just like during wartime, a farm boy, an ordinary clerk who goes to fight for his country on the front immediately becomes a national hero for his sincere effort. So Krishna immediately recognizes a preacher of Krishna consciousness who takes on all risk to deliver this message. It is called Dhira Vatra, determined. Sorry, our sound system is failing us today, but that's okay. For this, we'll welcome Vraj Kishore for the past 30 years serving mission, and he's going to lead us into this beautiful presentation on book distribution. So everybody, if you can please welcome His Grace Vraj Kishore Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So welcome to the Sunday Love Feast program. And a special word of welcome to anyone who's come for the first time. Is there anyone who's come here for the first time? Please raise your hand. Well, there's always a first time for everyone. So thank you very much. And Radha Sharan Mataji, thank you for the wonderful words of introduction. So let's commence this morning's class with the invocatory bhajan, which is Jai Radha Madhava, and I'm sure all of you know the words, so you'll be able to sing with me responsibly. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannath Bhaganath Baladev Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannath Baladev Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Nitai Gaura Sundar, Nitai Gaura Sundar, Gaura Sundar. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Their Lordships Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Sundara Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you once again for taking time off your Sunday schedule to come here to the new Jagannath Puri temple to listen to us, give you some sort of Krishna Katha. And I'd also like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak some words of Krishna Katha to you. Before I proceed, I would like to thank the management, the temple management, especially His Grace Prabhanu Prabhu, for giving us the opportunity to come forward and speak. It's a nice service to do, and whenever you're given that opportunity, please take full advantage of it. I also want to thank the tech team, namely Ram Gopal Prabhu, for always readily coming to my assistance whenever I need him. And his support is there all the time. So thank you, Prabhu. And finally, a word of thanks should go out to the team that's busy preparing your sumptuous prasadam for later, that all of you look forward to. I know I look forward to that. So we want to also send our words of thanks to the team that's busy at the moment. Unfortunately, they are busy, so they won't be able to listen to the class, but they are doing devotional service, and that is so important as well. So this morning we are going to speak about this highly exciting topic, and Mataji, Radha Sharan Mataji, has already alluded to it, and she's mentioned that it's going to be on. I'm sure you guessed. Anyone wants to guess again? What do you think the topic is? Well, the screen should tell you that. I'm not sure whether the screen is all that clear. It's because of the light factor, so probably the screen on the side of the Matajis may be a little more better to see. Anyway, we'll try to make the best of the situation. So if you look at the front cover of that little excerpt that I put out there with this beautiful picture of Srila Prabhupada carrying a little bouquet of flowers in his hand, and this nice quote that is there. Of course, there are many, many brilliant quotations from Srila Prabhupada, but this one is really attractive. The greatest welfare activity for all the people of this world. And I'm sure you'll agree with that this Hare Krishna movement is the greatest welfare activity for everyone in the world. So if we continue, we'll see that Srila Prabhupada starts to talk about our family business. So I'm going to quickly go into that. And so, of course, this is just emphasizing the topic again. And I'm sure you can see it there. It should be fine now. So we are now going to look at this whole question of family businesses. So I just want to engage with you, because I think when the talk is unidirectional, where one person just speaks, there's this tendency for some of us to get switched off, so to speak. Oh, speaking of switched off, I hope you put your phones on silent so that at least you'll be able to focus. All right, thank you very much. So coming back to the question, who do you think are some of the most successful family businesses in the world? Just think of any particular family business in the world and shout out. I don't have a problem with that. Anyone? Or just raise your hands and we'll give you an opportunity to speak. I can hear some discussion in the back. Is there any Mataji who wants to share a name? Yes, the Tatas, absolutely good. Yes, they are one of the very, very prominent, successful business families in the world at the moment. The Ambanis, that name comes to the fore as well. The Prabhus, Ford, yes, absolutely, and that's on my list. Yes, Prabhu. Bill Gates, yeah, he's not so much a family business, but an individual business, I think. But if you include his wife and everything, yeah, you can consider that a family business. So when we think of family business, we're thinking of businesses that run from generation to generation. Okay, so let's look at your answers. Well, if you look at the screen, it may not be that big, but nonetheless, you could see the Fords, that name came up. The Disneys, by the way, were a very prominent family business. Of course, Dell, the computer company of America. So these are all the American companies, right? And then if you move to India, you got the Tatas, the Birlas in India. They were a very, very prominent group of families. And of course, the more modern days, we've heard of the Ambanis and so on. So I Googled the top 10 families in the world. And of course, the Ambanis are in that list a little later down. So what makes these families family businesses? They were owned and operated by these families, and they've done this for generations. But there's a shocking fact. The Hoshi family, which is a Japanese family, who actually started their family business before the advent of Jesus Christ in the year 718. So if you do the calculation, from 718 to now is roughly 2,400 years now, 2,000 years now, and another 700 years. So they're close to about 3,000 years ago. So this family has been long in existence. So those are nice, very nice, interesting facts. But wait for it. our family business. So you're probably asking, but where does our family fall in this? We all say that we're family, right? And we say that Srila Prabhupada built a house in which we could all live. That's true, because this is one of the houses that we all are in. So our family refers to Lord Krishna's devotees, and our business is to inform as many people as possible about Krishna and his teachings. Don't you agree with that? Right, so there's a few yeses there, okay? So how does this tie up with this family business situation? Well, the question that I wanted to raise is, let's just compare that Hoshi family, the Japanese family, and now let's start relating it to Krishna. Well, according to the Vedic histories, Lord Krishna started his family business at the beginning of creation. Now, who's going to get better than that? Nobody. So even the Hoshis, although they can boast a long lineage, but they can't come up to this point. So when he poured the Vedic wisdom into the heart of Brahma, and then he empowered him with the knowledge to create a universe where the jivas could rectify their consciousness and return to him. And that's all of us. So you could see that Lord Krishna's family business is certainly the biggest and the oldest one. Of course, why does it become a family business? Because the knowledge was passed on from member of the family to another member of the family, and that's what good families do. So Brahma expanded his family and taught, empowered each of his members to learn what he had been taught, and then to pass the Vedic knowledge on to his son, who is, and everybody knows this, Narada Muni. Of course, Narada Muni went and spread the message on to whom? And we all should know, Vyasadeva, who compiled and edited the Vedas. So you'll see that this business was going down from son to son, so to speak. Of course, Vyasadeva, he was very eager to broadcast this message, and he knew that in this age of Kali Yuga, people are going to be very miserable. Of course, if you look at your own lives, how many of you are really ecstatic here? Is there anyone who is really happy here and they want to share their happiness with us? I hardly thought so. But yeah, that's because if you think of our lives, in every day of our lives, there's challenges, there's miserable conditions, there's short moments of happiness, but in the main, there's problems. And this is what they talk about, the miseries. And he knew that there will be a variety of hardships. So you can see in the scripture it was pointed out. And he knew in Kali Yuga, in order to remember and follow the Vedas, sacred teaching, humankind would need it in written form. Because our memories are very, very bad. If I tried to recount my steps from the morning, I wouldn't be able to recall half of the events that led up to me coming here. Because that's how bad our memories are. I leave a key sometimes on the couch, and then a few minutes later I look around frantically. Where's the key? And then I blame everybody else. And I think that happens to us. We take a walk to the kitchen to get a cup of water, and then suddenly you realize we forgot what we were there for. And then what we do, we end up eating something when we shouldn't have done that. Yeah, these are the things about memory. So Vyasadeva, he knew all of this stuff. And so he decided, he took the Vedas, the original Vedas. I'm going to run through this a little quicker. And if you want to, I can always share this PowerPoint presentation. You can see us at the back, and I'll just send you a link and you can watch it or read it. And he broke it up into the 4 Vedas, and we all know that. And of course, from the 4 Vedas, he went into the Vedanta Sutras, and then the Puranas, and then he eventually came to the Mahabharata, which is that beautiful epic where the whole philosophy is in the form of a story. And why did he give us stories? Not too long ago, I explained this on a Sunday class, that this generation, or our generation, cannot engage in philosophy too much. So what we need is a little bit of story, and then in that story there's some punchline, some hard-hitting facts, and that's what we call the philosophy. And the one part of the philosophy is that you're not this body. I mean, if I just came and told you that you're not this body, you'd probably say, what is wrong with you? But if it's told in a story form, it softens the blow, and then you eventually accept it, and that's how it goes. And so, yeah, the Mahabharata, and within the realms of the Mahabharata, right in the middle of the Mahabharata, where this huge battle is taking place, Krishna spoke the most beautiful Bhagavad Gita, which everybody knows. The Bhagavad Gita is that beautiful story with Krishna speaking to Arjuna. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But let's just get back. So we can see now how this knowledge was coming down. And can you see this theme of the family still flowing? It's passed on from generation to generation, and every member of the family is not breaking the tradition. They're all continuing. And so from King Krishna to Brahma to Narada to Vyasa, eventually it went down to Rupa Goswami, and then to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who you'll see on the altar. And then you will see Bhaktisiddhanta, who is Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master. And I've skipped out a few of the names because I can't mention every one of them. It's going to take a long time. But if you want to know this entire disciplic succession, there's a nice picture behind Srila Prabhupada. Srila Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Nitai Gaur Prema Sundari ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So like I was saying, there's an interesting picture in the back behind Srila Prabhupada. It's pasted on the wall where you can follow the whole disciplic succession right up to Krishna. It's interesting. I tried to learn a few of them. I got up to the first row and then almost forgot the rest of the names. But again, it comes down to bad memory. All right, so coming back to that, so you got Prabhupada who comes in there, in that line. So Srila Prabhupada was now the modern day preacher and the modern day family son that was sent down by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, to continue the family tradition. So when we look at it, I've quickly put up sort of a simplified disciplic succession for you. It's quite simple because I left out a couple of names, and with no disrespect to those individuals, just to show you how this knowledge came down from Lord Krishna to Lord Brahma, and then to Narada Muni, Vyasadeva, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and then to Srila Prabhupada. So when we look at that little chain, you'll see that there is a message that's being sent out there, and that message is now coming down to us. So we are now the family members. And what do good family members do? You protect each other, you help each other out, and you take care of each other. And so the fact that you come here week after week, you support the temple in all the functions, in all the festivals, through thick and thin, even when the temple is going through difficult times, you are there. Then that makes you a family member, because family members put up with each other when there's nonsense going on. They're not family members only when there's good things that are happening to them. So you are to be complimented for being good children of Srila Prabhupada, all of you, for being good family members, because I look around this audience and every week I see the same committed group of people coming. And that's testimony to the fact that you are indeed committed to serving Srila Prabhupada as your spiritual father. So Lord Krishna's instructions were very, very clear. And I'll say it once. My Sanskrit is pathetic, but then you can say it after me. Yadidam paramam guyam mad bhakteshu abhidayasyati bhaktim mai paramam kritva mame pasyati asamsaya. Yadidam parama guyam. You can try. Mad bhaktesu advidyasati bhaktim mai paramam kritva mam evasyati asamsaya. So that's coming from Bhagavad Gita. And it's coming towards the end of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, 1866, every devotee quotes that one, where Lord Krishna asks you to surrender. And in context now, this is coming 2 verses later, and this is what Lord Krishna is saying. I can always give you the chance to explain the Sanskrit to me, if anyone wants to. Let's maybe look at the English. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. Yes, Haribol. Absolutely. I mean, look at that verse. How strong and poignant is that verse? It is so moving, it will get to your heart when you read it. Because it is making a claim that nobody can give you. I was giving you an example. You go to a car dealership and you buy a car. And then you say to the guy, what's the guarantee on this car? Suppose I drive this car out of this garage and all the four wheels come off. And then the guy gives you a little document, and it's all signed by the garage and or the dealership, and it's stamped, and you sign it and you take it out. It's just a piece of paper, but you have absolute faith in that piece of paper, isn't it? That they will honor you. They will honor their side of the deal should something happen, should the four wheels come off. But do you know that if you go back to that garage may not even be there. It could be a hoax, and it was conveniently set up just to sell the car, and that's it. And there have been stories like that, where people go there, they buy a car, and then they go back, the salesman is no longer there. The garage doesn't even exist, it was just a gimmick. But Krishna, He gives us this guarantee, and we doubt it. We question it and we say, I don't think this is true. So that's the first part of this verse. And the purport is very short, and I'm not going to go into explaining the whole purport, except he says here, the one who explains the supreme secret, of course supreme, because we've learned many a time that the preachings and the teachings of Bhagavad Gita is the best. You can go through all the scriptures with no disrespect, but when it comes to teaching you about bhakti and the art of loving Krishna unconditionally, and not wanting to take from Krishna, but rather wanting to give to Krishna, and that's what sets us apart from the rest of all other different societies. A lot of societies would worship the Lord, but we want just service to the Lord. We are not interested in liberation. Even if it throws us to the worst hellish conditions, many of us would say, it's okay, we'll still serve. And that's the kind of mentality most of the devotees have. So he says the supreme secret. And he talks about to the devotees. And that I've already alluded to. The fact that you come here week in and week out, isn't that a sign of your devotedness? That you are only doing that because you are devoted to the Lord. Had it not been through your devotion, you wouldn't be sitting here. You'd probably be somewhere else, doing something else. So that is why the Lord says, give it to my devotees. And you may say, but what about the person who is not my devotee? As long as they show an inclination to want to hear, they immediately become your devotee, the Lord's devotee. And then he says, pure devotional service is guaranteed. Pure devotional service. That means he will bring you up to the platform of pure devotional service. And how amazing is that? So, the verse that follows is even more exciting. And I must mention this one. I'll quickly go through the Sanskrit, and we need to hasten it up a little bit because I have a little element of surprise for you. Na cha tasman manisyasu kaschin me priya kritama bhavita na cha me tasmat anya priya taro bhuvi. That's coming from Bhagavad Gita again, 1869, which is all verses now after the surrender process. Watch what this verse says. And it says, there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. I'll give you a minute to look at that and marvel in those words of that verse. There is no servant. So that's why I said earlier on, we are servants. And if you adopt that attitude, you go a long way in Krishna consciousness. In this world, more dear to me. And notice the me is in capital letters. That's the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself speaking. Than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. So this verse has no purport. And I asked myself, well, why isn't there purport? I may be speculating a little bit, but I think the reason for the absence of a purport, and in many of the verses in Bhagavad Gita, is because Srila Prabhupada knows that this verse is self-explanatory, that you should be able to read it and understand it immediately. That the message before that was made, and now it's this hard-hitting fact. And it's almost like Krishna is saying to you, hey, don't worry. You are my most dear, most servant. And do not fear. Do not worry about that. And there will never be anyone more dear to me. You may hear of all these jnanis and these yogis who retire to the Himalayas and all those famous places. But even they are not dear to the Lord as the servant, as the person who serves the Lord, like many of you do here in this congregation. So those two verses from the Bhagavad Gita are absolutely profound and prolific in terms of the message that they convey in terms of this family business. And Krishna is saying, if you want to be part of this family, then just do this, and you will remain in this family. So, who succeeded all of this? His Grace, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is seated in the back there, and he's listening to this class. And you will realize that today's distributors of Srila Prabhupada book, in the same mood of compassion, venture door to door onto the streets, to fairs, rock concerts and shopping centers, anywhere they can find people in need of spiritual enlightenment, to join in the family business of presenting Srimad Bhagavatam, and of course the rest of the literature. And it goes on, and I'm not going to read all of it, but I just want to quickly add, in this congregation we have devotees that go out every day, and they are seated right here, and as Madhujis that go out all the time distributing Srila Prabhupada books in the same mood of compassion, knocking on doors of people in streets, in rain, in wind, in sun, and they're doing it all the time. Now, isn't that a sign of a good son, or of a good grandson, of a good child in the family? So these are all indications that these are people that are there, that are really devoted to Srila Prabhupada. All of these personalities are spiritual entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, they're businessmen. These devotees who today follow Srila Prabhupada's example and exhaustive instructions to expand book publication will be successful in their business. Entrepreneurship is business. Because they are backed by all of Krishna's eternal family members. How's that? Every one of Krishna's family members are behind you. So when you are doing anything for the temple or anything for Srila Prabhupada, you're not doing it alone. There's a line of people that are backing you up. So how does Srila Prabhupada stand out? I'm going to go through this quickly. You've already heard of his travels. He circled the globe 12 times around in that short period of time. He set up 108 temples. In fact, there's more than that now if you Google it. Now, of course, books. He transcribed many, many books, but wrote at least 70 books of his books, and then a book publication is still carrying on by his disciples. So, Srila Prabhupada is one of those spiritual and entrepreneurs, as I've mentioned, and they feel the responsibility to share their compassion, to take the suffering away from all of us. Because all of us are in a suffering condition, and Srila Prabhupada takes on that burden of trying to do that. So I'm going to go a little faster, and like I said, I'm most happy to share the slide presentation with you. But Srila Prabhupada had this one prayer. When he got off the Jaladuta, which is the ship that he landed in America, he said, how will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them, for I am powerless to do so on my own. This is Srila Prabhupada praying to Lord Krishna. So he himself, such an empowered devotee of the Lord, is asking for the mercy of the Lord. So don't you think that if we ask for the mercy of the Lord will also help? The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if a sober person repeatedly receives them with submissive oral reception, then he will be able to understand your message. So that is Srila Prabhupada. Now, coming to the important point, and I know that I probably am boring you, but I'm getting to it. So what was Srila Prabhupada's instruction to us? Like you saw, that message came down from Krishna to Brahma, to Narada Muni, to Vyasadeva, and it carried on filtering down. Eventually it's come down to us. Srila Prabhupada's instruction, our first business is this book distribution. Notice he says that's our first business. There is no need of any other business. If this book distribution is managed properly, pushed on with great enthusiasm and determination, and at the same time if our men, by many mean men and women, keep spiritually strong, then the whole world will become Krishna conscious. That's Srila Prabhupada's instructions to us. So he said it, it's categorical. You can go and Google it, you can check out any of his books. He emphasized book distribution as the backbone to ISKCON. So, the significance of book distribution, Srila Prabhupada's book distribution, his books are spiritual wisdom. There's a whole lot of interesting stuff here, but like I said, I'm just going to touch on important books. They're not merely literary compositions like Shakespeare's works and so on. They're living, breathing entities that carry spiritual potency to wake the dormant love of God. And we all experienced that. We picked up a book and immediately we felt something. So I'll go through some of the other ones. What does his books do? They are a reservoir of spiritual knowledge. They unlock the mysteries of existence. And each page in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam is a portal to the sacred teachings of our scripture. So it goes on like this. It also offers practical guidance for modern life. I mean, in this day and age, we don't know how to live properly. But Srila Prabhupada explains how to do that as well. So I'm going to go a little quicker. Universal relevance. So it's not applicable to us Hindus or to those of Indian descent alone. If you look around the world, we have people from all different faiths who are following the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. Transformational power. By that, the ability for his books to change lives. Every one of us seated here had our lives changed. If not, we wouldn't have been here. We would have been doing something else. That is what we call transformational power, the changing power. And only Srila Prabhupada and his devotees and his disciples were able to do that. Of course, it's the gateway to bhakti. Like I said earlier on, through devotional service we learn about bhakti, and we learn to serve Lord Sri Krishna more than just want things out of him. We will learn to serve him as a servant. So it teaches about bhakti yoga. It is your connection to your guru. So sometimes you realize that you need to have somebody to talk to. And Srila Prabhupada is your guru. If you have your own spiritual master, then you can speak to your spiritual master. But it's that connection, and Srila Prabhupada offered us that opportunity. And of course, spiritual growth. It allows you to grow. Every week you come here, you learn something, you're growing, and your bank balance is picking up. And you're getting more deeper insights into the books and to Vedic knowledge. It's a cultural and philosophical legacy. You get to know more about your culture. Before I could come to ISKCON, I knew a little bit, maybe about Hinduism and so on. But after I got into ISKCON, I learned a lot more about our culture and why we do things, rather than just doing it for the sake of doing it. And so it's there. It's an eternal guide for humanity. Whenever you're in despair, you don't know what to do, then you pick up Srila Prabhupada's book, open Bhagavad Gita, and often the problem that's worrying you will be, the answer will be on that page. So, global transformation. I was reading, and we often hear of people of other faiths, like Will Smith, this famous actor. He's reading Bhagavad Gita. Kamala Harris of the USA, she's reading Bhagavad Gita. Queen of England, she read Bhagavad Gita, and every one of them had something very profound to say about Bhagavad Gita. So global transformation is there. So Srila Prabhupada's books are not just literary compositions, as I said. They're not works of art, as in you just appreciate them for the artistic value, the creative value. They are living entities carrying the spiritual potency. In other words, Krishna is in this book. That is why you'll notice a devotee will never throw this book or treat this book badly because they know behind this book there's an entity, and that's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To awaken love for God within every sincere seeker. So, I thought we'd put Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra Maharani. I hope you like that picture. It looks good, doesn't it? Okay, so we're getting to the point now. So how do you get into book distribution? How do you carry on in this family of book distributors? Well, I said joining because some of you may not have got involved in the past, but you were part of the family. So let's just look at it. So, we're going to get to the brass tacks here, the numbers game. Eventually we must get there, right? So, where did I get this magical number of 10,000 from? It's not a thumbsuck. Just to give you an idea of what happened last year, in that short space of time, without too much of advertising, a few devotees went out and made a concerted effort to raise and do book distribution. Do you know that we had book sales to the extent of, I think it was 4,000 rands in that short period last year? So, Haribol Mataji, yes. And not many devotees were engaged in the exercise. Just a few devotees went out and they pulled this number up. So, is 10,000 books being unrealistic? So, sorry, it was 4,000 books, not 4,000, and it was 4,000. Is 10,000 books being unrealistic? Absolutely not. I'll explain why just now and you can see. So, I want to quickly engage you with a simple question, and this will take you a minute. In the audience, suppose you make a little deal with your child. Not a grown-up child, because your grown-up child should be fending for themselves. I'm taking a child that's still dependent on you, going to school. And you say to the child, kid, I'm going to give you 1 rand today, and tomorrow I'm going to give you 2 rands, and the day 3 I'll give you 4 rands, and on day 4 I'll double that and I'll give you 8 rands, and on day 5 I'll double that and give you 16 rands. I'll only do this for 1 month of 30 days. How much do you think the child will get on the 30th day? Not for the total of the 30th day, on the 30th day. Like I said, on day 5, the person will get 32 rands. Well, how much do you think the child will get on day 30? Anyone wants to shout out a number? Take a guess. Yes, Mataji, shout. Sorry? 100 rand, okay. 600 rand, okay. Prabhu's 450 rands, okay. Going further, Mataji's the back, shout a number. Okay, nobody else. Yes, Rama. Right, Rama. So we've got an engineer in our midst. 2 to the power of 30. Do you know that if I had to punch that here, I have my calculator here, I can put it up on the screen now, but it means coming out of the PowerPoint slide. I know I don't want to do that. If I put my calculator up here and I punch in those numbers, do you know that what Sudama has pointed out, 2 to the power of 30 is actually something like 250,000 rands? It's a 250,000 rand. If you don't believe it, I'll show you. Right, so this is where we're going with this. So I'm going to show you very quickly how we can get to a point. So I'm the first devotee there, or any devotee for the matter, and I don't call myself devotee A or something. So I give 2 books out, and I give it to devotee A and B sitting in front. 2 devotees, right? So if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see 2 books down there. Only 2 books have gone. And this is based on a 2-book cycle. Now, that devotee A, he in turn buys 2 books and gives it to 2 other people who we call devotee C and D. And devotee B, which is Krishna Kun, he buys the 2 books and he gives to these 2 devotees in the front. How many books are there in cycle 2 already? That's 4 books. That's a process of doubling. And each of those people, or the 4 devotees in cycle 2, will now buy a further 2 books. Of course, they're not going to give the book that I gave. The book that I gave, they're going to keep away. By the way, Prabhupada said you shouldn't lend your books, you should keep them. And they're going to keep their books with them, and they're going to buy new sets of books because they want to help promote book distribution, and they also want to help the family. Okay, so we're going to go with the basis that they will not use the book that you give them, rather they'll buy 2 new books. And like that, you will see by the 3rd cycle it's already gone to 8. Watch the numbers here. Look at, there's my pattern. It's 2, 4, 8. That's the 3rd cycle. Then it's 16, 32, 64, 128. That's already the 6th cycle. 256, 512. These are books that are going out. 1024. If I count, that's about the 10th cycle. It's passed through the 10th person. 2048 is the 11th cycle. 4096 is the 12th cycle. Can you imagine what 2 to the power of 30 is, what Sudama pointed? This is already 4,000. By the 11th cycle, it's gone to 8,192, and the 12th cycle, of the 14th cycle is 16,384. You double that, that's 32,000, and you keep doubling it, that's 64, that's 128,000, and it'll become 256, 512, and then it hits 1 million. Once you hit 1 million, it becomes 2 million, 4 million, 8 million, and 16 million. Numbers grow very, very quickly, exponentially. That's what happened in COVID. Did you ever think that one person who had COVID virus will spread so quickly? Because of this. That one person gave it to 2, and people gave it to another 2, and it pattern grew. When the pattern grew like this, within a couple of days, do you recall in COVID? They were, in the 30-day period, we're sitting with millions of people who were infected. Or 10,000 a day. Remember those days? The infection rate was 10,000, then it went to 9,000, 8,000. That's what was happening. So, that's based on the 2-book cycle. So where and what is the assumption that we're making here? Of course, I'm not going to go into this one yet. Just as to explain to you what happens if you actually add up the numbers. Here, I'm not even looking at adding up the numbers. If you add up the numbers, the 2 books, the 4 books, and the 8 books, that's already 14 books in the 3 cycles. So when you add it, it becomes even bigger, the total. And that's what this little formula here is on the at the back. You'll see there's a little formula. If I add only to cycle number 12, I got 8,190. So this is the power of numbers, and they can act in your favor. So there are assumptions that we have here that each of you will give to some person, or you'll buy 2 books. You will convince that person to buy 2 others. You're only going to convince them to buy 2 more. So I take my book and give it to Prabhu, and I say to him, you keep my book, but you buy 2 and give it to 2 other devotees. And that is, I'm sure you've fallen prey to this thing called chain messages. Have you heard of that? Somebody sends you this crazy message and they say, if you don't pass it on, then you'll become broke within the next 5 days or something. Then out of fear, you quickly send the 5 messages out. Yeah, and then you know about chain messages with gossip, you know. Have you heard that this person is like this, and then you send it to 5 other friends and it's gone to the next 5 and it's 125 so quickly. That's all based on this pattern. So, this is it. If you buy 2 books and you give it, and you convince your friend to buy another 2, you'll be part of this chain. If you break this chain, you're not part of that family. How's that? So, I'm getting to this point. I'm trying to encourage you to merely approach 2 people and give out 2 books. Imagine what this cycle will be if we had to go with cycles of 5. Let me quickly explain. 1 book to 5 people. That will go to 25 people. By the 3rd cycle, it's 125 people. By the 4th cycle, it's 625 people in circulation already. So if you start to decide to go with 5 books at a time, before you know it, 625 people would have received the book. That's the magic of exponential numbers. And it's based on your commitment. So let's start small. We're saying, yes, you can go with the 2-book proposal. But if you want to go with the 3 and 4 and 5 cycle, you're most welcome to do so, and you can easily generate the numbers. So that's the sort of way to do it. And then there's a plan to do this. There's a participation form that we have. The forms are in individuals. So you can participate as an individual with your 2 books or your 3 books or your 5 books, whatever you want to do. Then there's a book form for the team participation. All these forms are printed and they're left in the back there. So I'd like to see you walk out with a form in your hand. And over a 4-week period, we're asking you to sponsor or buy a book. This is the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, which is 10 rands. For a period of 4 weeks, can you please try and assist with 20 rands? Because if you buy your 2 books of 10 rand each, you bought your 2. But people, and a devotee at the back said, I want to take the whole pack. There's 10 in this pack. That's 100 rand. So imagine how quickly this thing will build. And like that, we ordered many of these smaller books because they're easier to sell and they're quite cheap. This is 20 rand. And we have a whole lot of taken the liberty of showing you. I've chosen these books so that you can easily preach with them, Beyond Birth and Death. I mean, who doesn't want to know about this whole cycle of life and beyond birth and death and so on? So you've got these forms. You need to fill the form. Take a form, fill it out. You can fill it in during the course of the week. Drop off the form. If you want us to pack your books, we can have them ready, and then you collect them. And then you go and give it out. And then you, when you get the Lakshmi, you come and give it back to the temple. And hopefully you are going to, send the Lakshmi back to the temple so that we'll be able to enter you into a weekly draw. So every Sunday we're going to look at the devotees that went out during the week, and we're not looking at the highest book distributor or the lowest. We're going to put all the names in a hat and draw out of the hat. Because then everyone has this chance of winning something. So we'll say, okay, this week we put our hands in a hat and we pulled this out. Oh, this devotee went out doing some book distribution. Even if they did 1 book, they will win something. All right, so that's the whole motivation and the whole idea behind that. We have made some things and put some things in place for you. For example, a tool to help you. This is this particular slide is on your the temple WhatsApp. You'll see it there. If you want to send it to family members, you'll just send us out and it'll speak for itself. Say to them, hey, we have this book marathon, please help us. And you'll see that it'll market itself. I showed you the sample of books that you can buy. And of course, please take advantage of Srila Prabhupada's books. He said it over and over again. In fact, this Sankirtan will keep you happy and the books will keep you convinced. So make your program in that way and become fixed up in Krishna consciousness. Right, that was a letter by Srila Prabhupada. There's a long, very interesting quote that Shamaduti Prabhu sent. Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of time, but just to touch on 1 or 2 things here. Prabhupada said here that if you just give the book to somebody, you benefit and the person benefits. If the person just touches the book, you benefit and the person benefits. If the person reads 1 verse in the book, you benefit and the person benefits. Everything that you do, you will gain benefit as well. So can you see how magnanimous this process is? So, like I said, I had an element of surprise, and I don't want to distract too much away from that. I thought it's very important that we get some feedback from people who are on the ground. And so, this morning it's my privilege to invite one of the very good book distributors, Niroshan Prabhu, who happens to be a practicing medical officer, and he's here to address you on his experiences in book distribution. He's not going to take up too much of your time. And then we'll get Radha Charan Mataji to say her few words on book distribution. Prabhu, come. Thank you.
Haribol. I'm very honored to be given this opportunity. I would like to share the reason why I am enthusiastic about distributing books. And it started when I was in standard 6, actually, in a sense where the reason why I'm enthusiastic. So, at school, there was a bit of religious politics. Many of the Christians were starting to call us idol worshippers, and they're saying, no, you're going to go to hell. And I mean, they were frank, but I found myself not having many answers. And I had many questions as well that I couldn't answer. And it so happened around the same time. And this is at home, my hometown in Stanger. There was a devotee who approached our house in Adoti. He was an African devotee. And he approached my and I. We were playing outside, and he asked us, would you like to make a donation for a book? Now, being 12 years of age, we didn't have any money. And we just said, no, we don't have any money. We're not really that interested. But somehow, this devotee, he had some mercy in him. And he gave us 2 books for free. One of them was Coming Back, and the other was Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. And those 2 books were so amazing. Aside from answering so many questions that I had, it empowered me, or I can say galvanized me in a way where I had some ability to answer questions that were asked of me from my colleagues at school. And I was very impressed with those books. It really touched me. Then I've got another story as well. Let me just make sure I get permission for that story. Okay. So it happened that years later, I was traveling through to work. I worked in town, and there was this devotee there. His name is Raj. I know him as Raj the tailor. He was speaking to one of the taxi drivers, and he told him, why are you all playing this loud music? Why can't you all play some devotional music? The taxi. So I was quite surprised because they were used to playing 50 Cent and stuff like that. And I just thought, why is this guy asking the taxi driver to change the music? But I was still intrigued that I wanted to strike a conversation with him. And I did ask him. I said, okay, what type of music? And he explained, Krishna bhajans and stuff like that. And it so happened, actually, I could say probably a week before, I had went to Adams, the bookstore, looking for a Bhagavad Gita. And unfortunately, I found one that was very personalistic in nature. And on speaking to Raj, he told me about Bhagavad Gita as it is. And at that time, he said he didn't have a copy on him, but he gave me a book on vegetarianism, one of Srila Prabhupada's books. And that also just made me decide to become a vegetarian. And that was a good 17 years ago. But these books have really touched and transformed me. And I feel like I owe it to try and do the same sort of service and distribute these books. And I'm so glad and humbled that I've met other devotees who are so enthusiastic. Shama Duti, Madhu Mangal, Jay has joined us recently, been very active as well now. But there's so many, Dheeraj and his son, Vasudama used to come with us as well. So many, many devotees are coming, and we want as many more to come. So a lot of the Matajis must come as well. So please continue and join us whenever you can. Haribol.
Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you so much, Niroshan Prabhu. Incidentally, Prabhu is a dentist, but he finds time. He's with the Department of Health, but he does find time to come and do work every second or third days on the streets distributing books. All right. The next person is Her Grace Raja Charan Mataji, who incidentally was one of the biggest book distributors in Cape Town. She spent many years in the Cape Town temple. She's phenomenal as a book distributor as well. And I asked her to share some of her experiences. Mataji, please. Yes, we can put our hands together.
Hare Krishna devotees. I'll be very quick because we're running out of time. So a few experiences and antidotes that I could share with you on book distribution is one of the very most important things is sadhana. Sadhana is very, very important because it brings the Shakti, it gives you that potency to want to go out there and fight Maya, because that's what you're doing. You're fighting Maya. You are placing Srila Prabhupada's books in these individuals' hands, and they are taking it home. So you are fighting Maya. And chanting rounds, the tension and hearing the mantra when you are chanting. So that's two very vital, important points that a Sankirtan devotee concentrates on when they go out and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. Another thing is, when you're going out there, try not to irritate and harass individuals. It's about having a mood of compassion, a mood of wanting to change that individual's life going forward by giving them Srila Prabhupada's books. So if you go in that mood, you will see amazing results. Another important point is, always remember, you are not the doer. You are just the instrument that Srila Prabhupada and Krishna is using in order to get these books out. So don't be attached to the results. Don't be attached to whatever that may come in glorification you get, that you distributed 100 books, or you distributed 10 books, or you distributed 1 book. The point is to be involved in the service, and we encourage you to do that, to be involved in the service. Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Nitai Gaura Sundar ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So try not to be attached to your service in that the results of the service. Don't be attached to the results of the service, but continue with this mood of wanting to serve Srila Prabhupada and be a custodian in distributing the books. There's a lot more we can talk about book distribution, but we are running out of time. So I thank you for your attention. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna devotees. Thank you, Mataji. As you can see, she has a lot of experience in terms of book distribution. And like I said, she's a phenomenal book distributor. To be in Cape Town and to tackle some of those people there, you have to have quite a tough skin. And she did amazing work in Cape Town as a devotee. So we'll just take a few minutes and we'll wrap up now. Both the devotees mentioned, and they've given you very useful advice about how to go about book distribution. But speaking of book distribution and many of you wanting to get engaged, next week on Saturday we're thinking of having a nice Harinam, because they talk of strength in numbers. You know, when you go out in a big group, you feel confident. So at the temple at 9 o'clock, we'll put up the message on the WhatsApp group. We'd like to meet whichever devotee wants to come here, and we can split up and go into different areas and distribute books from 9 till about 12 or about 1 o'clock or so. So 3 or 4 hours of your time, make a bit of a sacrifice, go out and let's give Prabhupada's books as his soldiers. Go out there and fight, as Mataji said, Maya. And we go with the books as the weapons, and we destroy Maya, and we try to give the conditioned souls that are suffering an opportunity to come out of that whole cycle of repeated birth and death. So you're most welcome to join us, but just watch the temple WhatsApp for the details of that one there. As well as I just thought that we should inform you that we have beautiful calendars. that the temple has put together for the year 2025. And we're selling it at a price of 30 Rand. We've been advertising it at the back, but not many devotees have come forward and so on. We're encouraging you that even if you don't want it, you can take the calendars out and sell. I was speaking to one Prabhu in the morning, and he said he used to go out and distribute 100 calendars. Prabhu is sitting right in the front here. Kamyavan Prabhu. He used to go to weddings and distribute the calendars. He used to go to the wedding not for the intention of really worrying about the wedding. He used to wait for the opportunity to meet the people and distribute the calendar. So for 30 Rand, they get these 4 beautiful pictures. You can see it at the back. And sometimes it's nice to have little elements of surprise, then you come there. And what better way to start your new year than to have Jagannath Baladev and Srila Prabhupada and Subhadra Maharani and Srila Prabhupada in your home to bless your home. And also give this out to somebody. So even if you just buy a calendar and give it out as a gift, by all means, it will appreciate it. So I'm almost done there. So please don't forget about all the initiative that we have put into place. Don't forget to try and take a form from the back table there and try and engage in that book distribution that we are really appealing to you to do. And this is what Srila Prabhupada said. Thank you very much for your sincere endeavors to distribute my books widely. So on behalf of Srila Prabhupada, I'm echoing the sentiment. If you continue with such desire and determination, Krishna will give you all strength to increase more and more. Give me one more minute. I should be. It's absolutely powerful, this one, yeah. So give me a minute. And I know I'm pushing you a little bit.
There is no comparison, there is no literature throughout the universe like Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no comparison, there is no competition. Every word is for the good of the human society. Every word, each and every word. Therefore, we stress so much in the book distribution. Somewhere or other, if the book goes in one's hand, he'll be benefited. At least he will see, they have taken so much price. Let me see what is there. If he reads one sloka, his life will be successful. If he reads one sloka, one word, this is such nice things. Therefore you are stressing so much. Please distribute book, distribute book, distribute.
I'm sorry about that, Prabhu. Devotees, yeah, but they just wouldn't respond to full screen, but thank you, Prabhu. But you've got the message, right? And Prabhupada is saying, please distribute books. What other appeal can we make? The rest is in your court. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We're looking forward to you. Thank you.
Thank you, His Grace Rajkishore Das Prabhu Ki Jai. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Devotees, there are a few announcements. I'll quickly run through them, then we can have kirtan. One of the first announcements is that there's going to be a book distribution walk, which is in collaboration with New Jagannath Puri, Shri Radhanath, and the Kendra Namahata. So this initiative is on I just want to read this for you. It's on Sunday, the 8th of December at 3 p.m. Devotees will be meeting at the Shlanga Promenade, where they will be doing a sunset walk and book distribution, where you can then purchase or you can distribute these, they're calling them the Panchatattva Power Pack, which is consisting of 5 books, and it's 110 Rand for a pack, which these will be distributed out to the public. So we encourage you to partake in that book distribution walk. The second announcement is we are going to be holding a Food for Life Big Cook on the 14th of December, whereby we will be preparing 108 pots of prasadam, biryani, And if you are interested in sponsoring a pot, it is 1,500 per pot. Assistance is required in cleaning and cooking. So if you are interested in this, please, you can connect with the Matchless Gift Shop at the reception, and you can give your name forward for that, as well as you can get family and friends to sponsor a pot. The third and last announcement I have is a reminder for our Jagannath Prema Namahata that takes place on a Tuesday at 7 p.m. We thank you all for your attention, and we wish you all going home safely. So thank you all the devotees, and we will now have Kirtan. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Sundar ki, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Everybody should chant, clap your hands and dance. If you're not clapping, then your hands are disabled. Clap, clap, clap. Rama, Rama, Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna. Please chant loudly. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna. Please clap and chant. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Nittai go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nittai go Hari Bo, Nittai go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nittai go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Goda Hari Bo, Nittai go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा 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 जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें 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 ओ जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें ओ जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें उन जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें ओ जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें ओ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा ओ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा ओ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय निताय गौर सुंदर निताय गौर सुंदर 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 नित्य गो हरि बो हरि बो नित्य गौर हरि बो नित्य हरि बो हरि बो हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jaya Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jayam Vishnupad Prahamsa Prabhupada Sadhu Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanala Vranda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki